Hi, Jessica Kellner here with Mother Earth Living. Today we're answering a few questions we hear a lot from readers, and one of them we get at the height of garden season is, I've planted too many tomatoes, I'm completely overrun with tomatoes and I don't know what to do with them all, what should I do? I love answering this question because I have preserved tomatoes in a huge variety of ways, and I know what it is like to be a very lazy food preserver, and so let me give you several ideas. If I am absolutely have zero time, but I have tomatoes that are going to go bad, I will just pop them onto a tray and put them in the freezer. It is better if we boil the skins off. It makes them a little bit easier to use, but they will freeze that way. You can pop them into a bag and you can use them to make a marinara sauce or something like that later. So if you are going to lose the tomatoes, just put them in the freezer. That's my #1 tip. If you have a little bit more time, not much more time, you can freeze your tomatoes the right way, which is to blanch them in boiling water just for a couple of seconds. You want to cut a small cross on the bottom of the tomato skin, then bring a pot of water to a boil. You take your tomatoes, dunk them in there. They need to be in for a minute or less, pull them out, and then you're going to be able to peel those skins off incredibly easily. Once you've slipped all the skins off, again, put them on a cookie sheet in the freezer, and once it has completely frozen, then you can transfer them to a bag. That way they don't all get stuck together into one huge tomato chunk, and you can pull out individual tomatoes. So that's the proper way to freeze tomatoes, and it does make them a little bit easier to use, so if you have a little more time, do that. A couple of other things I like to do if I have just a touch more time, these both still are quite easy. I like to dehydrate them. If you have a food dehydrator, this is a super great way to use them later. They make a really nice, zesty addition to things like pizzas and sauces, and a little bit of a different flavor than the frozen tomato, so I like to have both types. All you need to do is slice them up. Generally, tomatoes like Romas work better for this because they're a little bit less juicy. And you just cut them in slices, lay them on the dehydrator, and it'll generally take about a day or so for them to be completely dry. When you dehydrate foods, you want it to be totally dry, totally free of liquid before you transfer it into a bag or a jar. And then the last thing that I love to do is take a bunch of tomatoes. It's optional if you want to blanch them and remove the skins first. Otherwise, just put them onto a cookie sheet and cover them completely with olive oil, a ton of garden herbs, and salt and pepper, and put them in the oven at about 350 degrees. Let them roast for maybe 30 minutes or even longer. Once you start to really smell that fragrance, which it will be very fragrant with a lot of herbs, and they seem to be soft all the way through, then you can pull them out, let them cool, and then freeze those. They're wonderful when you combine that flavor of tomatoes and herbs, and then you come later, it gives you this amazing summer flavor. All you need to do basically is blend it up with some fresh olive oil, and you have a really great, flavorful, fresh tasting sauce that I've had it last all year, and it's amazing to have this fresh flavor from the garden when you're eating in February. So those are some of my favorite ways to preserve garden tomatoes. I really do like to do a variety of preservation techniques so that I have a lot of different flavors and types of tomatoes to use throughout the year. I hope you can use these tips on your own garden tomatoes. Thanks.